Same thing if you're laying in bed and the cops kick your door down simply because they got the wrong address, or some informant on the street made up some stuff and gave them your address because he wanted to get some money for some smack or whatever they call it nowadays. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Today I want to answer kind of a delicate question. I don't know if it's as much delicate as it is tricky. In my live chat the other night, someone asked, can you use lethal force to protect yourself against a rogue police officer? If a police officer is endangering your life, for no just cause, can you use lethal force in self-defense? And it's kind of a complicated subject. Well, it's not that complicated because the simple answer is yes. Yes, you can. If a police officer is acting crazy, puts you in a situation where your life's in danger, and he doesn't even have just cause to be talking to you, much less harassing you, yes, you can act in self-defense up to lethal force, up to including lethal force. You can do that. It's legal. He shouldn't have been doing that. You do not have to let yourself be murdered by anyone, not even a police officer. Same thing if they kick your door down in the middle of the night. You're allowed to shoot at them. If they're not there for a good reason, if they don't have a warrant for the right house or they're in the wrong place, you haven't done anything wrong. If they kick a door in and you shoot, well, that's not really on you. If you're not a criminal. Now, if you're a criminal and they kick your door down and you shoot back, well, you're going to jail for an extra thing then. But let's say they've got the wrong address and they kick your door down and you shoot at them. Are you going to be liable for shooting at police? No, you won't be. We saw that with Breonna Taylor's boyfriend who shot at some police officers, hit one supposedly, and they arrested him, charged him, and then all the charges were dropped because they were at the wrong address, had the wrong information, and they endangered two innocent people, killed one of them, and one of them actually managed to fight back. You can't be prosecuted for that. Now, I say can't. You can't justly be prosecuted for that. But if you ever have to shoot a police officer because that police officer is endangering you, either in dereliction of duty or just being an asshole or just making a mistake, well, expect to be railroaded into prison. Because the system is corrupt, the police are corrupt, and they will not abide someone actually shooting one of theirs. And the government itself won't help you either because they don't want you shooting their foot soldiers and giving other people the idea that that's an option. So you're probably going to go to jail even if you're in the right, unless it's highly publicized. And you can get a lot of attention on it, and they can be shown to be clearly wrong. If it comes down to your word or their word, you're going to prison. So it's not something I would suggest you do, but it is something you can legally do. But here's the thing. In most situations, you're probably not going to prevail. Police officers don't usually come one at a time. There's usually a bunch of them. If someone does something wrong to you, your best bet when dealing with the police is just comply. If you comply, your chances of being harmed in a police encounter are very small. Because at the end of the day, they aren't wanting to kill anyone. They do like to harass people. They like to throw their weight around. They like to revenue gather because that's their job mainly. But they don't really want to kill anyone and they don't want to get shot at. So if you just comply, no matter how wrong they are, you'll probably be okay. Regardless of your color, actually. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever. If you comply, if you're like, yes, officer. No, officer. Okay, officer. My hands are where you can see them, officer. I will lean against my car. You can put the handcuffs on me. I will go downtown, and I'll have my say in front of a judge. If you do that, you're probably going to survive any encounter with even the most crooked cop. Because that's what gets you through. That compliance. And then you get to go in front of a judge and tell your side of the story. And if you got a good lawyer, that could actually end up being a payday. If it turns out the cops were in the wrong and they harassed you, endangered you, etc., can be quite a good payday sometimes. So you might just want to keep that in your mind while it's happening. Even if they're in the wrong, unless you're absolutely certain I'm about to die, just comply. And then later, take them to task. Make them write you a check. Whatever. I know it's government money and it's taxpayer money, so taxpayers are like, oh, that's just taxpayer money. Well, then maybe if you hold the government accountable for having to pay out these taxpayer settlements all the time and tell them, we're going to get rid of you if you can't stop this problem, if you can't make police accountable, we're going to get rid of you and them, then maybe that would stop being a problem. So I don't buy the whole argument of, well, it's taxpayer money, so no one should get paid out. I think they should get paid. Because they've been harassed, they've been harmed, they've been drugged through court, had their name sullied, they were abused, they deserve a payday. And instead of blaming the person who was abused, we need to blame the politicians that keep these police officers on staff and the police themselves that don't care. Because it's just taxpayer money they're giving away every time they do something wrong. There are some counties that one of their biggest parts of their budget is paying off people when the cops abuse them. And they get caught. It's huge parts of their budget. Seattle, that's a huge part of their budget. I mean, just look into how much money they pay to people who get unfairly harassed or mistreated by the police. It's an enormous amount of money. You'd be surprised. If they really want to cut something from the budget, how about cut some bad cops? That'll save them some money. But like I said, you can use lethal force against a police officer in self-defense. But it's best to just comply. And then hit them where it hurts. Get them in trouble. Get them yelled at because, you just cost us a bunch of money. It's one more strike against us, blah, blah, blah. Have your say in court. But like I said, there are Philando Castile circumstances out there where it doesn't matter what you do, you might not make it through that encounter. And if you haven't done anything that justifies you being physically harmed by the police, you're cooperating, and then it looks like you're still not going to survive, well, then what have you got to lose? Defend yourself. It's better to be alive and then be tried than it is to just be another statistic. So, like I said, you should probably just comply, but if that isn't an option in the end, you can definitely use lethal force to defend yourself against a rogue police officer.